Folks, please don't click away. It's really important that you watch this video through to the end. If some of it's not for you, I'd really appreciate it if you went and made a cup of tea or something. But watch time on YouTube, I've just become aware, is much, much more important than I ever could have imagined. And people tend to skip through these videos. A recent video, I got so many questions about stuff that I'd covered in the video, and it really sort of highlighted that for me. So if you could please watch my videos through to the end, it's massively helpful. And of course, it is also massively helpful if you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 50,000 this year. Less than 30% of you watching this video will be subscribed. It's completely free, so check it out. These are all 3-year deals with 3 months up front on 10,000 miles a year. Let's get on to the first one now. So starting off with this Peugeot 208 1.2 PureTech 100 active, £214 a month and 643 up front. 10.1 seconds to 62, 101 brake horsepower, insurance group 21, 352 litres of boot space, which is quite decent on a car of the size. Average on it's 306 quid a month. This one's in stock at the moment. The lowest price on it's been 197. The highest price on it, though, has been 392. This one's 214 quid a month versus the average of 306, and 643 is your upfront payment. Next one's a Seat Ibiza 1 litre 115 FR, so it's a really nice trim level. 9.7 seconds to 62, 51 mpg, insurance group 15, 355 litres of boot space, 689 up front and 229 a month. Average on that one's 280 quid. The highest price on it's been 377, so we're looking at 229 a month with 689 up front. Suzuki Vitara 1.4 booster jet hybrid is next. 248 quid a month with 746 up front. This one is a manual. 9.5 seconds to 62, 53 mpg, insurance group 22, 362 litres of boot space. Price history on this one, they never really fluctuate massively, but this is a good price. Average 270. Highest price on it's been 334, and it's £1 more than it was at its cheapest point. Great value for money car, brilliant little things. I've got a lot of love for Suzuki in general, actually, but especially for the Vitara. I think it's a great little car. 746 up front and 248 a month. Skoda Kamiq is next. One of the best value for money cars there is on the market. I think you get quite a lot for not very much. 10.2 seconds to 62, 50 mpg, 400 litres of boot space, insurance group 16, 762 up front and 254 a month. This one is an automatic. This one's a factory order. Average price on it 369. Lowest price on it's 242. It's currently only 254. At its peak, it was nearly 500 quid a month. But look at that average, 369. Currently 254. It's a lot of car for that kind of money. Cupra Leon is next. 1.5 TSI V1, 286 quid a month with 860 up front, 8.9 seconds to 62, 47.9 mpg, insurance group 20, 380 litres of boot space. I've actually just handed one of these back yesterday, a hire car I had over in Spain. Video coming on my travel channel, Jet Set Jimbo, so go and watch that out. You'll see how I got to Mallorca and back in July for less than the price of a decent meal somewhere. Anyway, it was really good. I love the car. We actually had the estate version of the car. The estate version is available. It's about 30 quid a month more than this at the moment, but the hatchback's a really good option as well. It's 1.5 TSI is great, to be fair. It's got all the power you need. Can be a wee bit gruff on the cold starts in the winter, but otherwise it's brilliant. Average basically 308 quid a month. At its peak 373. Currently 286 with 860 up front. And this car is also in stock. It's the Nissan Juke 1.6 hybrid end connector automatic. £271.83 a month with 815 up front. You can get the petrol version of this for 12 quid a month less. This one is the hybrid system, not a plug-in, just a standard hybrid. It's the end connector automatic, 271 quid a month versus 319, which has been the average on it. That average only started in March because it's a newer version of the model, I believe. 411 at its peak. So that one's 10.1 seconds to 62, 58.5 mpg, insurance group 14, 354 litres of boot space. If you go for the petrol one, it's not such a high score on Lease Loco because as I said, RRP of the car versus price of the lease is not such an exciting number. But I probably prefer the petrol one to drive, if I'm being completely honest. But the hybrid one is the best deal, so that's the one I'm showing you here. 271 a month and 815 up front. Alfa Romeo Tonale mild hybrid sprint automatic. This one's in stock, so expect it to go reasonably quickly. 8.8 seconds to 62, 48 mpg, insurance group 28 and 500 litres of boot space. 356 a month with 1,070 up front. Average price on this car's been £506 a month, and the highest price on it's 626. We're currently 11 quid a month more than it's been at its lowest point, so that's a great deal right now. Lovely looking car. I don't know, I don't think there's too much not to like about that. Alfa's a great car to have with a manufacturer's warranty as well, which of course you're going to have with a lease. Toyota Corolla Touring Sports 1.8 hybrid Icon CVT automatic, 292 quid a month with 877 up front. But look at the numbers on this, astounding. 9.4 seconds to 62, 62.8 mpg, and that's achievable. You can get 60 mpg out of these things without trying too hard. 140 horsepower, insurance group 17, and 596 litres of boot space, so that boot is cavernous. And look at the pricing. 384 has been the average on it. The lowest price we've seen in the last 12 months was just a few days ago at 281 quid. The highest price 405, currently 292. This is a steal. It's a brilliant car. It will serve you very, very well. You're going to save a lot of money on petrol with this car as well. 877 up front and 292 a month. Ford Kuga 1.5 EcoBoost Titanium. This one's a factory order. 323 a month with 970 up front. 9.5 seconds to 62, 44 mpg, insurance group 16, and 245 litres of boot space. Price history on this one, well, it's not been around for too long, so we're looking at price history going back to 29th of January. It was 353 quid then. The highest point it's been was 380, and this is the lowest point it's been at 323. That's about 22 quid under the average, and yeah, when the car's the lowest price it's been in recorded history, then you have to say it looks like a bit of a deal, I think. Another one in stock here is the Hyundai Tucson 1.6 TGDI Hybrid 230 Premium 2-wheel drive auto, 616 litres of boot space, 8 seconds 0 to 62, insurance group's only 19 and 49.6 mpg, just over £1,000 up front and 345 a month. Average on it's been 393, at its peak 454. It looks like decent value, that car. It is in stock. It's right up there in terms of its spec and its trim and its performance, etc. Can't go too far wrong with a new Hyundai, can you? A Skoda Kodiaq here. So this is the new Kodiaq they're shown in the pictures. Just be careful when a car's just had a model change, all right, or a midlife sort of spruce up, anything like that. When you speak to the leasing broker to actually go through your application, you do that, by the way, by clicking down here on compare deals. Then you find the one you want and make an inquiry there using my link to Lease Loco, of course, which is in the video description and pinned as a top comment. When you do that, just make sure it is the new model and not one of the old models. This is a factory order, so I'd be fairly confident that this is a new model. But certainly on some of the in-stock stuff, you may see a great price on a Skoda Kodiaq, and it might be one of the old models that they've still got. Maybe that's not a problem to you, but you should certainly be aware of what you're signing up for. 374 a month with 1,124 up front. This one's the 7-seat version. It's the automatic, 9.8 seconds to 62, 51 mpg, insurance group 20, 340 litres of boot space. But of course, that 340 is with all the seats up, so all 7 seats. If you're running this in 5-seat mode, that's going to be over 800 litres. It's been available for about 10 minutes. Let's have a look. 1st of April, actually. 642 quid a month it was on the 1st of April. Average on it has been 487, and this is the cheapest price we've seen it so far at £374.70. Is the diesel this one? So it might be sort of last chance saloon for some of these big diesels. If you're towing anything, you know, this is the one to go for still. You know, nothing beats diesel when it comes to towing. So for all you caravanners out there, maybe it's one to have a think about. Audi A4 Saloon 40 TFSI 204 S-Line S-Tronic. Brilliant, brilliant thing. 7.1 seconds to 62, 41 mpg. Insurance Group 31, 204 brake horsepower and 460 litres of boot space. I've spoken about these things too many times before and my history with them, so I won't bore you again. £1,235 up front and $411 a month. Average on it's been 443. At its lowest point, it was 396. At its highest point, 496. So we're only sort of £15 over this car's lowest point in the last 12 months. It's a brilliant car. It's in stock. I just love an A4 and it's a great thing. I've gone a bit out of order with my pricing here, folks, so apologies for that. We've got an in-stock Golf 1.5 TSI 150 R line, 381 litres of boot space, Insurance Group 20, 8.5 seconds to 62. What I was saying before about those stock cars, this is probably one of them. Because the new version of the Golf has just come out. Might not be, but if that matters to you, you should definitely ask the question. This one's 957 up front and 319 a month. And look at this, 355 has been the average. It's currently 319. The lowest point in the last 12 months was only £1 really, £1.30 cheaper than this. And its highest point, it was 432. 432 against 319. It looks like a bit of a deal, folks. And it's a Golf. Everyone likes a Golf. Toyota CHR 2-litre plug-in hybrid design CVT bitone. £321 a month and 964 up front. 7.2 seconds to 62. 353 mpg. It's one of those plug-in hybrid figures. Insurance Group 25. Boot space is not listed, but I'd guess it's about 300 and something. £321 a month versus an average of £411. This is the cheapest price we've seen it since the records began, which was 15th of January. It was £402 a month then. At its peak, it was £433. Currently, at its lowest price, £321.56 with £964 up front. Toyota RAV4 is next, the big brother to that car. It's the 2.5 litre plug-in hybrid design CVT. So the plug-in hybrid RAV4 is not a cheap car by any means. £475 a month with £475 up front. I've done this on a 1 month up front. Let's go to 3 months up front. We're then looking at £445 a month with £1337 up front. 0-62 in 6 seconds. Again, a stupid MPG figure. 306 brake horsepower, 36 is the Insurance Group, and 657 litres of boot space. So despite this being a plug-in hybrid, you've still got a massive boot, which is a great thing. 445, as I said, against an average of 569. At its peak, 623. Currently, 1,300 up front and 445 a month. Factory order on this one is the Volvo XC60 B5P Plus Dark all-wheel drive Geartronic. This one is petrol. 6.9 seconds to 62, 32.4 mpg, 250 brake horsepower, Insurance Group 36 and 483 litres of boot space. 588 has been the average on this. At its lowest point, it was £1 a month less than it is currently, and at its highest point, it was about £235 more expensive than it is right now. It was £749 a month at its peak. It's currently $516 with $1549 up front. The Lexus NX 450h Plus Takumi eCVT with sunroof is the next one. Now, this is fully loaded. This is about as high as it gets, I think, with a Lexus. And it's also the petrol plug-in hybrid. So again, you're right at the top of the food chain for the Lexus NX. 6.3 seconds to 62, 306 brake horsepower, Insurance Group 41 and 525 litres of boot space. Average on it's been £786 a month. This is the cheapest price we've seen it. And at its peak, it was £974. That's an outstanding deal on what is a fantastic car. It's a lovely looking thing. It's brilliant to drive. If you want to see my review of one of those, it'll be floating around on my channel somewhere. So look it up and enjoy. It's a great car. And when you look at that average price versus the current price and the way that line drops off, you can see it's a great deal. Next, we've got the Audi A6 Saloon 50 TFSI E Quattro S-Line S-Tronic. So this is all-wheel drive, 360 litres of boot space. You're losing a bit because there's a battery in here because it is a plug-in hybrid. Good if you're a company car driver or if you just want to do local electric trips and save yourself a few quid. 6.2 seconds to 62. Insurance Group 45 and 299 brake horsepower. At its peak 956, average 740, currently 540. You can save a few quid by just going for the petrol one as well. That's actually the cheapest price it's been in the last 12 months at the moment. At its peak it was 689, the average 566, currently 499. If we look at the numbers on that, 7.3 to 62, 38.7 mpg, Insurance Group 36 and 530 litres of boot space. Brilliant car. I think one of the ultimate motorway cruising cars. Lovely thing, and I think that's a good price. Another Lexus now. We've got the RX 450h Plus. We've also got another Lexus coming in the electric stuff shortly. This is the eCVT Premium Pack, 6.5 seconds to 62, 309 brake horsepower, Insurance Group 44, 612 litres of boot space. I had one of these in for review and really loved my time with it. It's a brilliant car. 1,877 up front and 627 a month. Average on it's been 828 a month. At its peak, it was 944 a month. At its lowest point, it was about 2 or 3 quid less than it is right now. £625.97 a month with 1,877 up front, and it's in stock, so it will go. Folks, ALA Insurance are sponsoring today's video. If you want 10% off most products on here, use the code JIM10 and you'll get that. Let's just have a look at gap insurance for a sec, and we'll do a quote on a car. We're going to say we're doing this on a lease. We are getting it, what is it today? The 4th of July. It's going to be up to 1 year old and up to 80,000 miles on the clock. And let's say it's that Lexus, okay? Lexus RX 450h. The prices vary quite a lot on those. I'm going to say it's 70 grand, that car. All right. So 70 grand Lexus. We want 3 years of cover because we're going to lease the car for 3 years. We want up to 2 grand for the initial rental. So that's the amount you pay up front. Monthly rental, we're saying 625, and level of cover up to 25 grand. That's absolutely fine. And don't forget, this is just to ensure the gap in the event of a total loss or write-offs. If the car's stolen and not recovered, if it's involved in an accident, if it's involved in a flood, those kind of things, okay? The insurance company writes off the car. Say in 2 years, they say we're going to give you 40 grand for the car. And the lease company says, actually, we want 48 grand from you. The gap insurer would step in, negotiate that with the lease company and make it whole. As long as that gap's no more than 25 grand on this particular policy, you'd be covered. You also get an excess contribution of up to 250 quid. So they'll pay up to 250 quid toward your actual car insurance excess, the car insurance that you're making the claim against. £123 for 3 years cover. We're then going to put in the code JIM10, and that takes it down to 111 quid for 3 years cover. That's not an annual premium or a monthly premium. That covers you for 3 years, just to be completely clear. Link is in the video description and pinned as the top comment. Using that obviously helps support the channel. They sponsor us, and if people use that, they can see that their sponsorship's paying off. So please remember to use that code JIM10, and of course it's saving you a few quid. You can also add all sorts of other covers if you want to: scratching dent, tire and alloy wheel, excess cover, key care. All that stuff's available. All that stuff's available at the click of a button. So go and check out ALA Insurance right now. On to the electrics. We're starting off with the Corsa E, 253 quid a month with 759 up front on 10,000 miles a year, of course. 214 miles of range, 136 horsepower, Insurance Group 28, and 267 litres of boot space. Average on this has been 551 a month. Don't forget, it's just had a little midlife refresh, so the numbers on this are only going back to sort of middle of Feb. Highest price on it's been 693. Lowest price is now £253.17. It is in ultimate trim. It looks a bit of a deal. Next, we've got the Vauxhall Astra 115 kilowatt GS automatic, 335 a month with a grand up front. This one's in stock, 259 miles of range. Insurance Group 26, 352 litres of boot space. Average on that's been £613 a month. At its lowest point, 328, so it's only 7 quid more than that now. At its peak, 767 quid. 767 versus 335. It's a sensible family car that actually looks quite sporty. It looks a little bit interesting. 0 to 62 on it's only 9.2, so it's not going to sort of blow your skirt up in any way. But it's a nice car, 335 quid a month with £1,000 up front. Then we've got the Kona Electric. This is the ultimate automatic with the Lux pack. So very well spec'd. £397 a month with 1,191 up front. 282 miles of range in this, 218 brake horsepower, insurance group 33, 466 litres of boot space, and 7.8 seconds to 62. So this one is a little bit livelier. It's got more boot space, a lot more range. You know, this is a really good family car. £560 a month has been the average. Lowest price on it's been £366, so we're a bit north of that at the moment. But the highest price on it's been £783. Currently £397 with 1,191 up front. Now, this is a phenomenal value car right here. This is the Skoda Enyaq IV 60 edition, automatic obviously, 247 miles of range, 585 litres of boot space, insurance group 23, 179 brake horsepower, 1,254 up front and 418 a month, 0 to 62 in 8.7. And look at this, average on it's been £506 a month, at its peak £720 a month. It was only £7 a month less than this when it was at its bottom, which was literally a couple of weeks ago. 418 quid a month with 1,254 up front on that Enyaq IV. It's in stock, so if you're interested in that, jump on it very quickly. I can't believe it's only insurance group 25 as well. This is a big electric vehicle. You know, it's a large thing. 585 litres of boot space. Don't know, I'd expect that to be more like 35, so might not be too nasty to insure. Hyundai Ioniq 6, factory order on this one. This is the premium spec, automatic. I love these things. I've spoken enough about them before. 339 miles of range, 18-minute charging time. So that's like your 20 to 80% or 10 to 80%, depending on manufacturer. This has got 800-volt architecture. So you go and plug one of these into a super fast charger, like a 250, 300 kilowatt charger, and the thing just goes up. It's insane. Fantastic thing. People talk about Tesla being ahead of the pack when it comes to all the battery technology, charging technology, all that kind of stuff, all the software side of things. Hyundai are very, very close behind them. Their 800-volt architecture platform is brilliant. 228 brake horsepower, insurance group 36, about 400 litres of boot space, 0 to 62 of 7.4. It's just a lovely car. Average on it's been 523, currently 437. Nissan Aria Advanced, 22 kilowatt charging on this one. So if you have got a three-phase supply at home, it is capable to do 22 kilowatt charging. E-Force Automatic. So this is the livelier one, the E-Force. 319 miles of range, 306 brake horsepower, 408 litres of boot space. Again, 30-minute charge time. So you're not going to be hanging around too long with this. It is capable of some proper fast charging. Average on it's been 582 a month. At its lowest point, obviously we have seen some crazy low prices on these recently. 397 for this particular trim and spec. But its peak, it was 795. Currently 455 with 1367 up front. 0 to 62 on this one, by the way, is 5.7 seconds. Ford Explorers next, 484 quid a month with 1,454 up front. This is the select version, 374 miles of range. So I think it's the longest range of any electric car in this video. 28-minute charge time, even with that huge range. 450 litres of boot space. 506 quid a month has been the average. As you can see, it's been pretty much a flat line. It's just starting to curve downwards. Currently 484, which is the lowest price we've seen it. At its peak, 515. Only came out in April, by the way, so not tons of history on it as yet, but it looks a great car. I haven't driven one, and it looks decent value at 484 a month compared to some of the other cars and what you get for that kind of price point. Lexus RZ 450e, the direct 4 Takumi, again Takumi's top trim level in Lexus, 636 a month with 1,910 up front, 251 miles of range, 522 litres and insurance group 45. Average on it's been 825 a month. At its peak, almost 1,100 quid a month. At its lowest point, it was 558. So that's quite a bit less than it is now. But look at that peak number, 1,092. It's currently 636 with 1910 up front. BMW i5 eDrive 40 M Sport. We've seen this about 100 quid a month less than it is right now, but I'm showing you this because I still think it's not a bad price considering the actual purchase price of the car. And it's in stock, so you're not going to have to wait to get your hands on one. £705 a month with 2,100 up front. 354 miles of range, 340 brake horsepower, 490 litres of boot space, insurance group 43, 0-62 in 6 seconds, and the average on it's been 852, at its peak 1106, and yeah, the lowest point on it was 593. Currently, 1106 quid a month though, it's a lot of money, isn't it? Currently 705 a month with 2,116 up front. This is a new one to the channel, a Volvo C40 Recharge Twin Ultimate, automatic, all-wheel drive, 722 a month with 722 up front. I've done it again, so let's put 3 months up front, so that puts £2,000 as your up front, and then it's 684 a month. Price history on this one, £780 a month on average. At its lowest point, 566. At its highest point, 969. So it's not a phenomenal price at the moment, but it's in stock and it's well under the average for the model. BMW i7. This is £1,000 a month, folks. Over £1,000 a month. But it's a mega expensive car if you were to buy it. You know, we're getting on for six-figure territory here. eDrive 50 Excellence. 500 litres of boot space, 455 brake horsepower, 378 miles of range, so loads of range. Average on it though, look, 1,448. At its peak, 1,816. Currently £1,000. Lotus Eletre, or Eletre, whatever it is. This is the S version of the car. We've seen some amazing deals on these recently. I know quite a few people have signed up and managed to get hold of one. This is a factory order, by the way. £3,000 up front and £1,000 a month, basically, all by the shouting. 373 miles of range, 688 litres of boot space, 20-minute charge time, 4.5 seconds to 62. Price history, average on it's been 677. A couple of weeks ago, 787. So we're well away from that right now. But at its peak, £1,900 a month. This looks like a worse deal because a couple of months ago, obviously, it was 200 quid a month less. However, against that figure, 1,896, £1,000 a month, seems like a bit of a deal. I don't know if the deal's going to come round again on these or not. They limited the numbers the first time on those deals, and they limited them again the second time around. So just keep your eyes peeled. Don't forget, if you subscribe and you click the notification bell, when those crazy deals come out, I put a video out often within half an hour of the deal coming out, or within an hour if I get told about it early enough. So please subscribe, click the notifications, and you won't miss out on the crazy deals when they appear. Last one's a van. It's the VW ID Buzz Cargo Commerce Automatic. This is only a 2-year deal. It's much better as a 2-year deal. 332 quid a month with 997 up front, but this is a business lease, so that's excluding VAT. So you need to put 20% on these prices if you're not VAT registered. 254 miles of range, 0-62 in 10.2, 204 horsepower. You know, it's a VW ID Buzz as a van. They look super cool. They're nice to drive. I don't know, what's not to like? That's the only real standout van deal at the moment. People often ask me to put a van or a pickup in there. I'm only going to put them in when I think they're sort of a bit of a standout deal, and that one looks like decent value. Folks, please use that link to Lease Loco if you're interested in any of these deals, and please, when you're watching my videos in future, if you could watch the whole thing or as much of it as you possibly can, it will really help me to grow my channel. I've been all through my stats, and I know that it's something that's holding me back, are people flicking through videos, and particularly these lease deal ones, people do it a lot. It'd really help if you just leave it on somewhere, on your phone, on your telly, whatever. I know I'm asking you to inconvenience yourselves, but I'm telling you I'd really appreciate it if you did. I'm going to be at Goodwood Festival of Speed on Thursday next week, by the way, so if you want to come along and say hello, follow me on social media somewhere else and send me a private message. I tend to get there early and leave early, so if you're getting there in the afternoon, chances are I may have already gone, but yeah, if you want to come and say hello, find out where I am, then just send me a message on the socials somewhere. Thanks ever so much for watching. I've got to 45,000 subscribers in the last week, and I've got you to thank for that. So thank you very, very much for all the support you give the channel. Please go and support our partners, Lease Loco, by clicking that link in the video description. And of course, today's video sponsors, ALA. And don't forget to use that code JIM10 to save yourself a few quid while you're at it. Thanks for watching, folks. Keep coming back. See you soon.